back to the last segment of the show this week. You're listening to the Patrick Riggins Show here on the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network and News Talk 98.7 WOKI. I want to talk about something that's been happening a lot lately, and it's this government-created fear and crisis. Everything is all about government. Government is in every part of your life. Because if it wasn't, everything would fall apart. Every problem is a crisis that has to be fixed by government. They try to make you think that without government, society will break down. No one will have food or water. There'll be massive rioting and pillaging. Now you may say, Patrick, why would the government do that? Why would it want to scare everyone in the country so much? Well, it's simple. I don't know if the females in this audience will understand, but the guys certainly will do. It's the same reason why us guys take girls to scary movies or haunted houses. It's so when the girl gets scared, she'll wrap her arms around you and squeeze. Same thing with government. The more it scares the crap out of everybody, the more they all hug the government. The more the people will cling to that supposedly warm, safe, and secure government. The problem with that is the government is the creep you shouldn't be going out on dates with. The government is the one your girlfriends have all been warning you about. That creepy guy who's been listening to your phone conversations and watching you as you walk around in public. If any guy were doing half of what the government was doing, no girl would go near him. But call it government, and all of a sudden it's okay. No one has any problem with it. Creepy guy following you around, watching you how you spend your money, tracking you on the internet, watching you on Facebook. What girl hasn't had some weirdo trying to friend you on Facebook? But here's the government hacking your account, and you still want to date him. You don't get any creepier than what the government's doing, yet it doesn't seem to be bothering anyone that much. Contrary to what you've been taught since childhood and school, government doesn't have all the answers. Back in the 70s, we had global cooling, and another ice age was just around the corner. Now, when that didn't pan out, the government decided to give global warming a try. President Obama told us Al-Qaeda had been defeated, then Benghazi happened. And no one's ego would allow them to admit that a terror attack was even occurring or that Al-Qaeda had a hand in it. You know, it's much easier to support the overthrow of Egypt's leader, and in return for helping the Muslim Brotherhood get in power, we get a nice little base over there from which to operate, from which to funnel arms to people fighting Assad in Syria. Nice little setup until we were double-crossed. So what? People got killed. They're expendable. Yeah, I don't know why polls show Americans don't trust the American government. The government's not watching out for you. It's watching out for itself. Just look what happens during civil unrest. When there's a riot or huge demonstration, government protects itself. The government buildings will have police all around them, but your house won't. More than likely, if you own a business, it won't have police around it either. But just about every single government building will have security all over it. So government's going to watch out for itself. Speaking of which, well, on that same thought real quick, Veterans Day is Monday. Have you ever stopped to think about how our government has screwed over our soldiers? The government has certainly not done right by them. It sent them overseas to fight people who don't have a prayer of making it to this country to attack us. Besides killing their friends and relatives in their own countries, isn't making the population say, gee, I like those Americans. I can trust them to do me right. Heck, we can't even say that, and we live here. Our own government is spying on us in direct violation of our Constitution. Our soldiers fight and train hard to defend this country, not to be sent all around the world to police other countries. That's none of our business. Yet here we are putting our citizens who volunteer to help protect this country. Sure, they get paid, but they're not drafted into service. It isn't compulsory. What do we end up doing? We send them overseas to try and police people who don't want us there policing them. And we have no business doing it anyway. Is some country descending into chaos? Sorry, not our problem. Are our American businesses losing money in some country because a dictator took over one of their divisions? Sorry, not our military's problem. If our businesses lose money in another country, tough. It isn't our government's problem, nor is it our military's. A bunch of radicals blowing up oil wells in the Middle East? Again, not our country's problem. If our oil supply gets cut, we'll find a way to deal with it. We always do. We're Americans. We don't have any problems overcoming adversity. Besides, whoever ends up controlling those oil wells want the money just as badly as the government's running them now. Money's a really good motivator. That's why capitalism works so well. Now, if we're in a war for our country's survival, now all bets are off. But we shouldn't have our soldiers parked overseas all around the world. That isn't why we have a military. We don't run a babysitting service for other countries. They can change their own diapers. So I guess my message is, this Veterans Day, say thanks to a vet by demanding that our government stop sending our soldiers around the world to be killed for people other than Americans. It isn't their job, and it isn't fair to order them to clean up the messes that other people have made in other countries. We are up on the last of the Patrick Regan Show. If you want more information about us, you can head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Patrick Regan Show. Facebook.com/Patrick Regan Show. If you want to listen to some of our older shows, including this one later on tonight, youtube.com/Patrick Regan Show. youtube.com/Patrick Regan Show. Also, you can email us, patrickreganshow@gmail.com. Or you can drop us a card or letter to WOKI. As I say every week, remember this. Remind yourself of this every day this week. Liberty begins with you in your mind. Join me next Saturday afternoon at 4, where we'll be fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. Thanks for listening, and have a great week.
Books about heroes and crooks, and I learned much from both of their styles.
Join us again next week for a solid dose of truth on the Patrick Regan Show